Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ride of Your Life podcast. Yes, I got that right for the third episode. But it is Donnie and Ryan here, back with a new episode for you all today. How you doing there, Ryan?
Doing pretty good. Just got back from round 2 of Winter Jam last night in Indianapolis. Ooh. I drove 2 hours to go to that. Really good. I was actually surprised. We the Kingdom mixed up their set a lot last night, so that was cool to see some different songs and hear more of their music. So I'm definitely well rested too. I went to bed at like 1 a.m. and I slept in until 12:30 today. So yeah.
So, what was your thoughts on Cincinnati compared to Indianapolis?
Well, okay. I never really understood the hate for Heritage Bank Arena because that's really the only arena I've ever been to recently to go to Winter Jam, but it's not Bankers Life anymore. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I think, is what it's called now. It's where the Pacers play. That place is nice. First of all, instead of Cincinnati where they have one line around the whole stadium and you gotta wait and it just takes forever. They have multiple entrances. There's like in the corner of Gainbridge Fieldhouse, they have this whole plaza where there's doors on each side of the corner and they just let people funnel in, and like me and Josh, one of my friends, walked up. Like, it was a 5-minute walk-in. I'm not kidding. Wow. We showed up at 5 o'clock, too. So, pre-jam was going on. You know, it's not like we got there early. We didn't have to wait at all. And we ended up getting really, really good seats. Like, we were probably as close to the floor as you could have gotten without getting, like, the VIP access or whatever. So,
wow.
That was a really cool experience.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like the venue I went to at Columbus, the Shawstein Center, that arena is so nice, and they had people coming in at all the entrances except for one, which was for the artists to get their merch in. But other than that, the arena was so much nicer. I guess for this one, like any other arena, you had to get there early in order to get a decent seat. Kinsey and I ended up in the nosebleed section, but still, you could see the artist and all that, but that's good. You had a good time in Indianapolis, and glad Josh was able to go with you.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that show, too, is they said that was the loudest on tour, and, you know, that's something you would normally hear, like, all the time, like, from a band, like, oh, last night's crew was, you know, they were pretty loud, but I think you can do better, and, you know, they just kind of have that same gimmick for each show, but I was at the Cincinnati show, and I definitely can tell you they did not say that. And, yeah, I can testify that there was a lot more people at the Indianapolis show, and these people love Jesus because they were singing these songs so loud that you could hear them singing it over the music, especially when, like, Jeremy Camp and We the Kingdom came on. It was amazing, and just to hear that many people passionately worshiping together was just amazing.
Awesome. That's cool. And like we said in the last episode about Winter Jam, it's just neat to fellowship and worship with your brothers and sisters in Christ and have that experience of just hearing the voices over the music. That's cool to hear.
It was also pretty sweet because last night during Jeremy Camp's set, his youngest daughter, Ari, came out on the stage and sang with him, too. So that was like a really cool experience because that Columbus show, not Winter Jam, but when we seen Jeremy Camp with Katie Nicole on the I Still Believe tour, which is actually where I got the shirt for all of you guys watching.
Nice.
I got to see him do a little FaceTime call with his other daughter, so that was like really cool just seeing. I mean, Jeremy Camp's just a down-to-earth guy. Mm-hmm. And it was just really beautiful to see him and his daughter just worshiping together.
What song did they sing?
They sang Same Power, and he covered Great Are You Lord with her. Oh my gosh. Don't say that.
Oh. Yeah, but that's cool that he got to do that with her and have that memory I'm sure she'll never forget.
Oh, yeah. And then, obviously, just going to see the Disciple guys. I talk to them every chance I get. They're the most down-to-earth band you'll ever meet. And no matter where they go, they always meet their fans. And doesn't matter how long the line is, they'll always get to say hi to you. And, you know, for those of you that don't know, Disciple is my favorite band. And they have done a lot for me. They have, I remember the first time I went and seen them, I ended up waiting in a long line. They ended up, praying for me when I told them about some of the struggles I was going through and just how much their music meant to me. And now, ever since then, I've seen them 7 times, and they just remember who I am now. And they even, show number 5, they gave me an opportunity to shoot their concert, which is crazy because I've never shot a concert before.
Pictures.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Pictures. This is 2023, you gotta verify what you're saying.
Yes, I am a photographer, if you guys don't know, and I know a lot of people know me from Christian Coasters, but this is a shocker. I do take more pictures than just just roller coasters. Yeah. I'll do concerts, nature, portraits, even streets, whatever I can do. So, pretty cool stuff.
For all your photography needs, get Ryan Subler Media.
Yeah. New business. I still working up that gear and portfolio, but I am taking inquiries, and we can negotiate prices, so hit me up.
There you go. And we'll leave some information about Ryan Subler Media in the show notes today. So go ahead and check that out. He's on Instagram. Are you on Facebook yet?
It is on Facebook, but I know a lot of people have trouble finding it.
Okay. We'll leave all that in the show notes below, so check that out. And if you're nearby, reach out to Ryan, and he'll be glad to shoot some pictures for you. So,
yes.
Cool. But thank you to all those who listened to last week's episode. We know it was a little bit long, but it was such a fun topic. We couldn't really cut too much out of it. I was looking for ways to narrow it down, but there really wasn't a way we could narrow it down. It's just so fun going through all the years, talking about these artists and things like that. We didn't get to what we wanted to cover at the end of the episode, so we're going to do that today, and then we'll see where the episode leads us. Knock on wood, we will never have an almost 2-hour-long episode. We'll be smart about cutting it if we need to do a 2-parter or whatever, but yeah, we'll try not to do an hour-long episode, nothing more than an hour. So, two of the things we wanted to do last week with the theme of Winter Jam is cover our predictions for next year and our wish list for a future Winter Jam, whether it's next year or in the future. Some of the artists that we'd love to see return or come for the very first time. So we'll go ahead and start with our wish list. And being the Christian music guys that we are, we love it. There's so many people we want to see on this tour. So, Ryan, go ahead and share with us who you would like on your wish list for Winter Jam.
So, for pre-jam, we're just not going to have pre-jam. I don't like the concept of pre-jam. You're walking in, people are trying to find their seats. They always start the show early. So, like, the last 2 Winter Jams, I missed Renee because I really wanted to see them, and I couldn't. So, yeah. If anyone from Renee is watching or any fans of theirs, I missed them twice, and it's not my fault because I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. I showed up on time before 6 o'clock when the show apparently started, so oh well. But I'm going to give a big 7 because that's usually what Winter Jam ends up having, I think. And, so I'm just going to say, like, no particular order, and then, like, the 7th one will be a headliner. So, obviously, Katie Nicole for reasons. Love her music. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I really love God Is in the Story with Big Daddy Weave and Jesus' Name, and just a lot of her. I mean, she doesn't have that many songs yet. She only has 7 songs out right now and a couple that she's featured on. But you can just tell that her passion for the Lord is there, and she has one of the craziest testimonies I've ever heard. And she just loves Jesus more than most Christian artists do on the radio. That sounds really like she is. That sounds like I'm putting her on a pedestal. That's not what I meant, but she is definitely a standout for Christian music, so I would love to see her on that tour. Next up, I mean, obviously, let's just bring Disciple back again. I don't care if it's a 15-minute set. Those guys kill it at every single show. They are on fire for the Lord. I love them. They are my favorite band. And yeah, bring Disciple back. And I guess if this is a dream lineup, bring Jeremy Camp back too, because Jeremy Camp is probably the greatest Christian contemporary musician of all time. So many well-known hits, but again, another standout, very passionate for the gospel, and he just loves to stand on God's word and truth. And I think he does one of the better jobs in Christian music of not only playing Christian music live, but also sharing the truth and giving people hope. So definitely got to have Jeremy Camp. What's that put me at? 3? Okay.
3. Yep.
So I guess we ought to get a rapper on here. So definitely KB. KB is my favorite Christian rapper. Again, one of the best at sharing the gospel and just being super Christ-focused. And especially recently with his mixture of worship and rap together, doesn't get better. Let's see. That puts me at 4. I got 3 more. 3 more. Let's see. Well, I'd be getting...
You got the obvious.
Let's go... Okay, I think... Matthew West would be fun to mix in there. Yeah. I have not seen Matthew West yet, actually. But I know he's really good, so I'd love to see Matthew West. Mm-hmm. Sidewalk Prophets would be amazing. So I'll put them at 6. They actually do rock out a bit, too. And then for 7, even though Disciple is technically my favorite band, Skillet has to be the headliner, just because they are bigger, they are more well-known, they will draw the most people, they are on fire for the Lord, and even though I do like Disciple just a little bit more, Skillet is still one of my favorite bands of all time, and they put on a killer show. So, boom. If that actually happens, I will probably cry tears of joy.
That'd be a good lineup. Really good lineup. My wish list is a little bit different than Ryan's. We obviously both have Katie Nicole on ours. I think she would do a phenomenal job on Winter Jam. Just like Ryan said, she has a heart for the Lord and a heart to worship the Lord and to reach people for Jesus. Then we got to go with the obvious elephant in the room. New song will obviously be back. Not my wish, but
forgot about them. I literally just seen them last night. I'm like, I forgot about them.
They're going to be there no matter what, unless they pass the torch, which is not happening anytime soon. And then I have 2 on here that could be either or. So right now I'm on 2, but I'm going to count this as one person. Either Jordan St. Cyr or Sidewalk Prophets. Either one of those 2. And my rapper would be Social Club Misfits. They haven't... Have they ever... I don't remember. Have they... I don't think they've been to Winter Jam, have they?
I don't think so. But they would be
a whole
good.
episode on this.
They're a ton of fun. I've seen them a couple times.
So 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, I'm on 4. 5, I'd love to see Mac Powell on the Winter Jam tour. He could do some Third Day songs. He could do some of his new stuff, which is really good. If you haven't heard Mac Powell's new CDs, they're so good. Just doctrinally and like scripturally, like embedded into these songs. I'd love to see him there. And then Building 429 or Big Daddy Weave. I'd like to see either of those guys on there.
I haven't seen those guys yet.
Yeah. That way you could do Big Daddy Weave and Katie could do God is in the Story together.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Instead of doing either one of them pre-recorded, which I've seen some artists do pre-recorded with an artist, and it's not the same.
I think when Katie Nicole did that in Columbus, she just sang the whole thing herself.
Yeah. But I think having those two artists together would be really good and powerful. And then my headliner is one of my all-time favorite contemporary.
Wait, let me guess.
Take
For
a guess.
King and Country?
Yep, for King and Country. Yep. I'd love to see them back at Winter Jam.
I actually have not seen them yet either.
They put on a really good show, especially their Christmas show. They do a phenomenal job with that. But their heart for the Lord and heart for souls, especially those who are facing depression and those who feel like they are worthless. They have a song called Priceless. And that's their whole mission, is to let people know that Jesus loves them and that there is hope beyond your strongholds and your dark valleys of life. That's what I love about them, is they provide hope in a fun way. They do a lot of percussion instruments. The whole stage is covered with different kinds of drums and all that, and they do a phenomenal job with that. So that is my my wish list. And with pre-jam, there's no telling of who could or could not be on there. It's just usually artists you probably have never heard of.
Just put a DJ there,
which
it's not
they
fair
had
to the artist.
Yeah, it's not cool. That especially like Renee, this group that has so much potential, it's a hit or miss. You have to be there literally 2 hours before Winter Jam even starts to even hear them, because with what I found stupid this year with Winter Jam is that they started 10 or 15 minutes before the actual start time. So Austin French is singing at, what was it, like 5:50?
45 or, yeah.
45.
That's how it was at the show last night, too. Because I thought, we got there early enough, so I'm like, all right, there's two pre-jam artists. I thought they were going to bring Renee out next, because I thought they were the biggest of the three pre-jam, so it makes sense. Next thing I know, they've got the big countdown on the screen, and Austin French. I'm like, are you kidding me? I missed him again.
I didn't get that, but it is what it is. Which, Ryan and I talked about this, but going to see Renee at the Ark Encounter in September. They're going to be there with Kane. They're doing a whole day at the Ark. It's included with admission. The Ark is doing this whole thing from August to September called 40 Days and 40 Nights of Christian Music. So different artists with different genres will be there.
I gotta preface this though. 99% of those artists are more like Gaither gospel type music.
Southern gospel, yep.
So don't expect like all your Caleb artists on there. But I was very shocked to see that those two artists were on the panel that night. And what I'm excited about too is, obviously I haven't been to the Ark Encounter and going on now 6 years. Mm-hmm. But what's crazy is Renee only has 3 songs out. So I'm pretty stoked, because I would imagine by then they should at least have some type of EP or hopefully an album or just a little bit more music to get excited about. So maybe that'll be even more fun to see them in that type of setting too. I mean, don't forget Kane's going to be there too, and I love them. So that'll be a fun show.
Yeah. And Cochran & Co. is another contemporary artist. He'll be there a few weeks before them with a friend of mine named Joseph Habedank. He has more of a contemporary sound. He's labeled Southern Gospel, but he has a very contemporary sound to him. And his story, it'd be awesome to have him on the podcast someday. But his story about addiction and strongholds is... God's written all over his story. It's awesome. And his music's phenomenal. But check it out if you're into Southern Gospel or even some of these contemporary artists. It's pretty neat. And just to even go to the Ark Encounter is just, if you've never been there, you have to go there. It's so cool. Yeah, and they're planning on expanding it over time and adding even a ride here in the next few years.
I mean, we only did the Ark, but there's so much stuff to look at. I'm pretty sure they got like petting zoos and zip lines and all sorts of wild stuff, and who knows what they've added since I've been there. So it's definitely a really cool place to check out. I will say this, if you're going to go visit, don't go in with the idea that you're just going to walk in and out of there in 2 hours. Because
it's a whole day.
What it is literally, because I believe Ken Ham funded this whole thing, which, by the way, Ken Ham is the speaker that night of the Kane and Renee concert, so that's pretty cool.
He is really good.
Ken Ham is notably known for debating Bill Nye on evolution, and he is one of the great Christian minds. And what I love is the entire, like, the first chunk of it's kind of like, they're not real animals, but kind of like just the storyline displayed inside of it. But the whole Ark, top to bottom, full length, is a museum based on scripture and proof for God's creation. It is unbelievable how much, like, I can't even put it into words. Like, you just have to go check it out yourself. And I would say if you really, really want to get a true grasp of what is being talked about, I would highly suggest reading the book of Genesis and Exodus. I mean, obviously, there's so many more books of the Bible, but just for the context of knowing what's going on in this museum, those 2 books are super important.
Yeah. And one of the cool things, like I mentioned, they're working on a ride for this park. And it's not going to be like your little... They do have a carousel there right now with a bunch of different dinosaurs and all that. It's so cool, but they're working on a ride that's in the style of Spider-Man at Universal Studios. So this Omnimover, like, robotic jointed vehicle where you're going back in time to history. So you're going to go through the Ice Age, you're going to go through creation, all these different things, implementing physical sets and video screens and all that. So from what I hear, it's really cool, and hopefully one of these days we can pull a few strings and get a coaster enthusiast on here who is actually the designer of all the attractions and things at Answers in Genesis. His name is Alan Green. He's a really cool dude. Check out his YouTube channel. It's Family Adventures of Alan Green. He covers a lot of Kings Island and theme park information. He's a really cool dude, and hopefully get him on here sometime to talk about what's going on at Answers in Genesis and just talk coasters with him.
That would be a lot of fun. I was really hoping that it would be an Intamin, though.
Who knows? The Behemoth might come, or the Leviathan or something might come in the future.
You just go to the Ark Encounter, you see the Ark, and then right next to it in the Skylines is this big 250-foot Intamin. That'd be great.
Noah's log flume coming soon. Yes. But we digress. Oh, gosh. That needs to be a whole episode of rides that could come to the Ark Encounter.
How could you even logistically make that work?
I don't know.
That would be crazy, though.
Put it inside the Ark.
It's probably very unlikely that it's ever going to happen on a large scale, but could you imagine a park that just, like, is entirely themed to the Bible?
That would be so awesome. Like your David and Goliath coaster, a dueling Giga coaster. The first of its kind. Imagine that. That'd be awesome.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Hey.
But just imagine, like, not only just getting to, like, hear the gospel, but getting to, like, kind of like the Ark Encounter, honestly, getting to just see what it's all about. I mean, I'd almost compare it to, like, Mount Olympus, but just a much, like, nicer, like, you know, the rides could be themed to something biblical and actually, like, tell the story. Like, that would be really cool. Of course, that would also probably fail in the mainstream world because, you know, it's just natural that most Christian things aren't going to be as popular. That's just the way it is. But, I mean, it's still cool to, like, have that idea, maybe? I don't know.
We need to make a whole episode of this Bible park. This a biblical proportions park.
Like,
I don't know.
This is probably never going to happen, but if it happens, this is how we would do it.
That'd be fun. Get a few.
I mean, I'm not gonna put God in the box though. If he wants to make a, what would you call it? The Seven Flags or something, whatever.
The Seven Churches Park.
Oh my gosh.
The Revelation Park. I don't know. That's terrible.
You are here.
Yes,
That'd be great.
Are you going to be left behind, or are you going to be raptured out now? Oh gosh, that's terrible. But that'd be a fun episode, and get some of our friends on here and create this Bible park of biblical proportions. But anyways, back to Winter Jam. I don't know how in the world we got onto probably Renee and Ark Encounter, but I think for this next one, our prediction for 2024, let's try to build our main prediction together. Let's come up with this idea. So, number one, let's get it out of the way. New song. So there are artists. They start off our prediction for next year.
Yeah, let's put them at pre-gym.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually, take notes here. I'll write this down so we look back next year or in November when they make this announcement.
Be like SpongeBob. Write that down, write that down, write that down.
Okay. But pre-jam, new song.
You're not just putting tic-tac-toe down, are you?
No. All right. So we got pre-jam, new song. Who else would be a pre-jam? So there's typically 3 pre-jams. Renee?
That's so unpredictable.
Dan Brimnez back.
No, they wouldn't put him at pre-jam.
I think he's done with his pre-jam. Yeah. But
that's
like
unpredictable.
Yeah.
Probably some Christian rapper from the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Probably a TikTok Christian rapper.
I mean, there's always like some random worship band put on there.
Yeah.
So last year it was like Northside Worship, or no, it wasn't Northside. They're way bigger. Who was it?
Who was it?
Bayside.
Yeah.
It's always this side, that side.
By the Bell.
This year it was Thrive Worship. What do you think? Next year it'll be not Pulse Worship. There's already a Pulse Worship.
Not Elevate. That's an actual band.
I don't know. It'll be something worship though.
So we got a rapper worship and then a girl band. Or boy band, probably.
A boy band. We're going to have like the Christian Boys to Men as the pre-jam artist.
Bye, bye, bye. It's so hard to say goodbye.
That'd be so funny.
But we're on to our... Let's guess our speaker first. Who's going to be our speaker?
I don't know enough speakers. I don't think Sadie Robertson's going to do it now that she's got a family. Have they ever done repeat speakers?
Zane was 3 years in a row. I think he's here to stay.
Yeah, he could definitely be the one that does it. Especially if he's been there that many years in a row.
Alright, now we're on to our main act, and let's be honest, as much as we wish they were in pre-jam, they're going to be in the main act, new song.
And they'll go second, though. They're always second.
Yep.
So we got to figure out who's going first, third, fourth, fifth, and headlining.
I think either Jordan St. Cyr or Ben Fuller for your number one.
Definitely could be. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Of the two, who do you think it would most likely be?
Probably Ben Fuller. He's getting a lot more airplay.
Yeah.
I've yet to hear Jordan St. Cyr and Caleb, actually.
Yeah.
I did hear Fires, actually, last week, though, so...
They play Weary Traveler a lot.
Oh, well, I guess that was Okay, that was a lot last summer. I forgot about that song.
Mm-hmm. But Ben Fuller, I think, would be more likely.
He could definitely be the opener.
Mm-hmm. Who would be our number 3 spot?
It would probably be a rock band. So this is the tough thing.
As much as we want Disciple back,
I don't think Disciple's going to go 2 years in a row.
Mm-mm.
I mean, TFK has been off the grid for like 6 years, so I mean, by default, unless they want to bring in some other random band, I would have to say it's probably going to be Red.
Sadly, yeah.
That's
how I
can't see it being anyone else.
Mm-mm.
I mean, unless Skillet breaks the 3-year trend and comes back as the headliner again, then they can just say, "Oh, we don't need a rock artist."
There's someone I'm thinking for main act or headliner, but
I don't think that. It depends because Skillet's unpredictable. You never know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Red.
Yeah, probably. Our rapper. Who would our rapper be?
Let's see. KB did it in 2018. He did it in 2021, which tells me he's not going to do it for the 3rd year. I don't think they're going to bring Andy Mineo back. There's no way they bring Lecrae back as a non-headliner. So it's either going to be Tripoli or Social Club, and I'm leaning towards Social Club.
Yeah.
I could actually see Social Club doing it. Mm-hmm. And to my knowledge, they're not on tour right now.
Mm-mm. So, possibility is very high. This could be their Winter Jam premiere.
So, usually 4 is when they put who should be the headliner when they're not the headliner. Mm-hmm. So, it's definitely not going to be Jeremy Camp as much as we want
4 is Social Club.
There, I guess it'd be 5.
5. So, who would be the supposed to be headliner but is not?
I actually could very well see Matthew West doing that. He hasn't been on Winter Jam in a few years. I don't think he has any tours going lately.
He's doing the My Story, Your Glory right now, and I can see that feeding into next year. But who knows?
I could see Matthew West doing it, but
okay.
Because usually it's like a solo artist too. They usually don't have a band in that slot.
I was thinking Mac Powell. He's probably likely. He's got a name with him of being with Third Day and
maybe I don't know.
Or Jordan Feliz.
Okay, Jordan Feliz I could totally see doing it too. He's actually going on tour with Danny Goki here very soon.
Danny Goki could be another one.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be at, 2020, and then COVID ruined it, right?
He was there in 19.
Or was it 2019? Yeah, okay.
Because him and Mandisa were together.
That's right. Yeah, that would be really cool to see Danny Goki, so I could see any of them doing it. 6.
Someone who does not deserve to be the pre-headliner.
Well, I don't know. I think Katie Nicole. I actually am. I don't know why. I've got this gut feeling that Katie Nicole is going to be on the next tour. She is just blowing up on K-Love and contemporary charts. And not to mention that if they're going to bring Ann Wilson and put her at co-headliner, they've got to do Katie Nicole the same justice.
Yeah.
If it's not her, it's probably going to be Kane. I could just see someone.
I can see them being the headliner. I see Kane being the headliner. Or Newsboys.
Really?
Either one of those two could be headliners.
I don't know, though. The Newsboys, they've been doing their own tours so much, though. Because I don't know if they still do Big Church Night Out, but they usually do tours with a few artists, kind of like Toby Mac does.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Kane
maybe.
Probably would be.
We know it's not going to be Toby Mac. That's just.
He's got his own thing.
He's got his own Winter Jam now. It's the Hits Deep tour. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What would be really cool, it'll probably never happen, but I would love to see Brandon Lake headline Winter Jam.
I could see him being the pre-headliner.
He could be on there too, but
he could be your worship person.
Yeah. Brandon Lake would be amazing for Winter Jam. Mm-hmm. I say what you want about Maverick City. I know they're kind of a hot button subject, but I really do like Brandon Lake a lot. I think headliner though. I mean, honestly, I think you called it. I think for King and Country, it seems like the right time for them, unless they want to go with someone new. But
I think we were onto something. Kane might be the headliner if they have We the Kingdom coming in.
Well, they had 2 albums at least, and they're...
Well, Kane's about to release another one, because they did some new stuff with, and they were with Casting Crowns.
Yeah, they could. That's the thing about Winter Jam. That's the thing about Winter Jam. It's almost like predicting a March Madness tournament. You never know.
Yeah. It's unpredictable.
Although when they released the flyer, we did guess Jeremy Camp right, so we were like 1 for 10. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see them as the headliner, but I did say We the Kingdom would probably be on there, so I guessed 2, but all the others I got wrong.
Like, I didn't see Austin French coming back so quickly.
He killed it. So in the last episode, I didn't get to talk about that, but honestly, I think he was deserving of a longer set.
Yeah.
His band is really good. His voice is incredible, and I didn't realize he was so like passionate like Jeremy Camp was about like sharing the gospel. I loved his set.
Yeah. He's a really cool dude.
And I think he only has 1 album out so far, right?
I think he has 2.
He might have just came out then, but he's very good.
But, like you said, it's so unpredictable. Like, again, we could be thrown off completely by an artist just randomly coming in. Because We the Kingdom had only been on there once, and it was during Winter Jam weekends, and they were like either the second to last or the headliner. Right. Or like pre-headliner to Crowder, which how Crowder's been on there as many times as he has. He's a good guy, good music, but he's been...
You can put Crowder at like a short set, but don't pick Crowder as the headliner. It's just not fair. You've got all these rock and pop artists with so much energy. You get Crowder, and it's like you go to a nursing home worship set or something.
Yeah. You mentioned it, kind of, but I could see Zach Williams.
As a headliner?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he's headlining a live, so apparently people must like him.
He's got some really good music.
I throw him in there with Crowder. He's got like 3 good songs, and beyond that, I'm kind of like, you're okay. I really love his song "There Was Jesus" with Dolly Parton. That's by far my favorite Zach Williams song.
Mm-hmm.
But I can go a million ways.
But we'll definitely revisit this when the official list comes out in October, November. I think rest of you.